waiting for dawn. So, good morning. But it's just as wet here as it is out in Ome. It's rain. And rain's on the forecast now for 7 straight days. When you pull up the 1 week forecast, it's the cloud and rain icon for 7 straight days. The first time the sun appears in that forecast is a week from now. This is not October weather. This is late summer weather, but it's not October weather. We're still in late summer. It's warm. And again, my back is, I'm sticky. It's warm and sticky here. It's October the 5th. There was no autumn, or not yet. I don't have any idea what's going to be happening. Whether this is good or bad for the maple leaves, I hear that they need a sudden snap to cold to make them go red. And maybe that's what's going to happen this year. It'll be warm, and bang, it'll suddenly go cold. John says it was 28 degrees. I'm not sure what clock you're using here. Is it cold or hot? I'm sorry. You mean 28 degrees C? C. Okay, you're warm then. In the UK, autumn came right on schedule. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Here, colors are immaculate in Colorado. Soka. It's not the whole planet. Whatever. Anyway, we are still hot and muggy and rainy. I feel a bit sad for tourists who came for the wonderful maple leaf season. But is it bad? I hope there's lots of snow this year. I don't know anything about that. I hear, just reading the newspaper, the ski resorts here in Japan have been very, very, very happy the last couple of years. I don't know. It's way too early for leaves in Japan, absolutely. Okay, here we go with a Saturday stream. It's work. I will be carving, absolutely. It's going to be knife to wood. We're going to see blood on the block today. I've got to get going. The real downside of these Ome trips is that I'm falling behind on the carving schedule. And I'm going to have to do something about that. This gift print should have been ready by October the 10th. It's not going to be. And it may be that I'm going to have to set up a bench in Ome. I used to have a carving bench there. It must be in the closet. I may have to set up a bench in Ome and do carving there. I don't know. The idea was to get away from this work, but whatever. New York newspaper, again, no stock report. Sunday's New York Times. Okay, what have we got? The block is here. We have mail. Hontoni. There's mail. Being away for 3 or 4 days, we have mail from a couple in Florida. The Peanuts. It's a follow-up to the Peanuts story. Then there's... The staff has just dumped this on my desk. Oh, it's a print. They've opened it. Thank you, note. And this, I guess... Netherlands... Do not bend. It must be a print. Let's have a mail corner later on. Let's have a mail corner. But let's do some work first. I've got to do a token of work. There's the block. What's this? Oh, information on... This is the electric music gentleman, Ondomo-san. He must have come. I talked to him about this. He's trying to introduce me to a place that makes kitty boxes, Polonia boxes. What have we got? Surihon. Okay, let's open some prints. This is not auction stuff. This is from our printers. You know who this is? It says Surihon. 80 copies. What's the print? What's the size? Very popular print. You might be able to get it from the size. Miniature Wave. No. It's one of our regular published prints. It's one of our most popular. In fact, it's running to be, maybe. It could be actually now coming up to be our most popular print. I don't know. It's too small for Tagobe, John. Tagobe is a bit wider. Rickshaw's a bit wider. No, they're too narrow. No. You get the wrong size. You've got the wrong footprint. Tagobe and rickshaw print are not this footprint. This is the footprint that is 1/8. It's 1/4 of a great wave, 1/8 of a piece of paper. the footprint we're using for a certain series we're publishing these days. No, crows. It's the same footprint as the crows. Good guess, sir. Wheelchair Willie or whoever, crows. It's the same size as the crow's print, but it's not. It's the footprint we're using for the 8 views of cats. We calculated to the millimeter that this entire series could be done on 1/8 of a sheet of Obosho paper from Iwano paper. These are not random sizes. The rickshaw cart print was a random size because it came from Jed years ago. It wasn't sorted out to fit Japanese paper. But the series that we're making ourselves, believe me, we figure out the paper size first. This is from Chiharu-san. And this one and the night rain and the evening snow are turning out to be absolute dynamite sellers for us. Number 4 is coming up. I'm sorry it's not ready yet. And I have got to get started on the preparation for number 5. The 8 Views of Cats series, of course. We've got the bottom here, Descending Geese. Where's the printer's carver's names? Here we are. It's carved by Chon-san, and this one's printed by Kawai Chiharu. To die for again. Double blocks for the wood grain. If that doesn't look like the real thing, I don't know what is. A little highlight at the top of the brackets. Absolute dynamite. And I'd better remember, just a sec, sorry to take a little detour here, I have got to make sure this is turned on because the staff had it turned off because we were out of stock. So let me quickly get back to the catalog and make sure it's turned on. One sec. Where are we? Descending Geese, 0453. It's marked as reprinting, and I'm going to change it to available. Done. Yeah, the wood grain, it's worth it for the price of admission. It's worth it for that wood grain. Okay, all I need to do is check these, and I don't really need to do much. Chiharu-san is so good at this. I just need to tokenly go through and look, okay. She is so good at this. They will be on their way to Ome for packing. This is from our other Kawai-san. We have 2 printers with the same last name in sound. It's spelled differently. Okay, here's your footprint. Speak up again, those who were guessing what print the last one was. This is that footprint. Someone's on rickshaw. It's a good guess, but no, those are coming to me later this afternoon. Rei-chan finished a batch of the rickshaw prints yesterday. They're in the drawing boards tonight, and they will come to my desk later this afternoon. Someone's guessing Tagobe or something of the same size. Hanami cats. This is from Mr. K. Kawai, Atsushi Kawai, and he has done a nice, he is coming along, you know. I really wish he would come here and work. He's working at home, and he's a little bit slow, because there's nothing to push him. You know, there's nobody at the next desk pushing and pushing and pushing. And maybe he gets up a bit late, I don't know. But he's killing it. He's doing a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. I can't turn this one on because we don't sell these online. These all go through Jed online. We have them in the shop, but we don't have them online. Going to fix that soon, I hope. Carving here is Kawasaki-san. Kawasaki Noriko is the carver, and this is Kawai Atsushi. Yeah, this is not part of the 8 Cats series. It's a bit confusing, I'm sorry. The 8 Views of Cats is a totally separate series being designed by people all over the world. This is a set of 3 prints from Jed-san. It's sushi cats, hanami cats, and ramen cats. I know. We overdid it, but whatever. They're all very popular. Cats everywhere. Okay, let's get some cutting done. Where are we? Where did we leave off? Yeah, we're working out with Jed what to do about this. The problem with these prints, the Jed series, the Ukiyo-e Heroes and the Hanami Cats and stuff, they all get signed. So the one reason up to now we haven't sold them here, of course, we haven't sold them online, because they have to get signed first. So they just went to Jed, he signed them, he sold them on his online shop. But his online shop recently is closed. He's so busy, he can't keep it open. So it's really hurting us. It's hurting sales of these prints, and it's hurting people who want to get the damn things. So one idea is, we're trying to tee it up with Jed, is that when we get a batch of prints like that, the Hanami Cats, whatever there is, I think there's 60 copies there. The idea is to send the whole batch of 60 over to Jed. He signs them. He keeps a number that he wants to sell in his shop, sends the rest back to us. But we have a customs problem going into America and going into Japan. Customs sees this as wood-bought prints. We made them in Japan, but we've sent them to Japan and coming back, and they want to charge us import duty on the whole thing, the whole value of the whole print. And when you send something like, you can send a musical instrument overseas to fix and send it back because it's got a serial number. These don't have numbers. So we can't identify, we can't prove that this thing was made in Japan. And they want to charge us full import duty when it comes back from Jed. It's endless trouble. Yeah, right. Auto sign them from Jed, whatever. Another idea would be to quit signing them. I mean, Hokusai, Hiroshige, they never signed their prints, but in the 20th century here, 21st century here, prints like this, you know, there's a demand for having them signed, you know. Okay, someone's saying, is this a recarve of the key block? No, I'm still working on it. Okay, borders, what are we doing? Oh no, I'm clearing the middle. Okay, Dave, settle down. Settle down. Settle down. There is now just so much going on here, you know. The only thing is nice, but the volume of work waiting for me when I get back now is kind of beyond belief, and I don't know. Okay, how do we do this? Let's go. Are we on to camera? Yes. Go that way. We were talking about the weather, the fact that it's still warm out, and this has been a bit of a bonus for me, because by now, the Ome trips, I had expected that I wouldn't be able to get into the river, but it's still so warm. Even though the river itself is chilly, the weather is still so warm that I can get in there. And yesterday afternoon, before I came back to Tokyo, I was in there again yesterday. Get down to my shorts, jump in the water, and spent an hour in there. Took a little snack, a cup of juice and a little bun from 7-Eleven. Went and sat in the river. And it's still, it's hard to believe. I sit there out there paddling in the water, and there I am in Tokyo, city of 35 million people. I'm sitting there in the water, chilling out in my backyard, you know, just whatever. There's nobody in Tokyo as rich as I am, you know. Are we visible? It seems okay. Can I zoom in a bit more? Maybe, I'm not quite sure. Paper's out. Yes, the paper's out this morning. I got up early today, about 5:30. Chilled out for a while this morning. Really nice. I got the paper out. Only one printer today. Ishikawa-san is up there. She's printing, what is she printing tonight? Spring Sunrise. There's a print in our catalog. We've had real trouble printing because it's so difficult. And there's 2 metallic pigments on it, which she wasn't really happy about doing, but take the challenge. And she's doing a really good job. I looked at it when I came in. Took the paper out of the freezer this morning, and it looks to be okay. She's doing well. Spring Sunrise in our catalog. It's been out of stock for nearly a year, and it'll be back in later this week. So. The thing about the Ome thing with the river and the forest, I showed a little video on the Thursday stream. I showed a few minutes, about 5 minutes, a small video clip that I took in the hills behind the house. I can't say mountains. Nobody would call them mountains. It's just there's some rolling hills behind the house covered with awful untended cedar forests. I showed that video clip on the stream, and then when the ladies were in later on Thursday afternoon, the ladies in Ome who do the packing, I'd been chatting about that, and they said, oh, can we see it? Can we see it? So I played back the same video clip for them. This is the video clip that's taken literally, 5-10 minutes walk from our workshop house. And they're like, where's that? Where's that? And I said, it's, like 5 minutes walk in the mountains behind here. And they're like, I didn't know that was there. I mean, they lived there. They were born there. They would just never, ever think of walking up there into the forest. Don't even think of it. This just still, after all these years in Japan, this to me is so strange. And my daughters live in Vancouver, and everywhere there's a park or the university lands or whatever, there's people in there walking their dogs and in and out, and you can't get away from people anywhere, any kind of greenery or park space, because people use it. And here in Tokyo, that space, I can't say nobody ever goes there, because you saw some truck tracks. The forestry people are going up there now and then. But the local people who live here, to go in there, is it permitted? Can I go in there? Yeah, lady, it's permitted, Is there a marathon going on today? Here in Tokyo? I have no idea. Are people walking by with numbers on their chests? I don't know. I'm sorry. I know of no activity here, but I don't know. I'm a little out of touch with Asakusa events now because I'm out of here 3 days a week. So Okay, where to next? We've got to get going on this. Where to next? Outside, that's cut, that's cut, that's cut, that's cut. Borderlands. Let's get to the borderlands. And then we can get the persuader busy. Let's go. Someone says, have we ever had an earthquake mess up a carving? No, haven't been that. The day of the massive earthquake in Japan, you know, the one that had the tsunami and set off the nuclear trouble and things like that, that day I was filming a printer. I was at Numabi-san, the printer's place, filming him. And while we were, you know, the printing was going on and I was filming it and we were chatting, whatever, and all of a sudden some of the cups on the table fell over. The pigment cup and paste cup fell over. And he thought I had bumped the table. You know, there's an intruder in your workshop filming and moving around. And for a split second there, before we realized what was going on, he thought I had bumped the table. I didn't know what was going on. And then we realized it's a quake. And stupid Dave turns off the camera and we all head for the door, you know. I mean, not stupid to head for the door. It was obviously a big quake. We thought we should get outside. But stupid Dave turned off the camera. I didn't realize it was going to be a historically, existentially important earthquake, so I just turned off the camera. But I don't know, the print would have been okay, because we just, when we came back indoors, you know, 10, 15 minutes later, just to clean up, pack up, and did we feel anything? Yes, Mike. Oh, okay, now you're talking to me. Yes, Tokyo was a massive shake. I thought you meant Tokyo. I'm sorry. No, sorry. Confused about the conversation. No, even in Tokyo, it was obvious that was a very, very, very big event. You know, subways were stopped. You know, buildings were damaged. Our building, we weren't here at the time, We moved in here in 2014, but in the 2011 earthquake, this building was damaged. The back wall was cracked and needed repairs. The building wasn't condemned, but it struck some major damage, you know. The back wall cracked and fell off. This building is, it's a reinforced, it's steel and, what do you call it? There's steel columns that have concrete wrapped around them. So the columns and beams look like concrete, but I guess they've got steel beams inside them. But the walls are not. The walls are just breeze blocks stacked up. So it's columns, it's posts and beams, and the floors are all concrete, but the walls are not. And the back wall on the second floor fell out and cracked partly during that big earthquake. Again, this is before we came here. This was nothing to do with me. And by the time we rented this building in 2014, that had all been patched. We can see it. And in fact, it's a partial patch job. They patched the outside so the building looked okay, but they didn't patch all the inside. So on our building here now, the second floor offices at the back have big cracks in the walls to remind us. Don't go too thin, Dave. Careful, 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 careful. Is there a wind chime somewhere? It's the not the pizza restaurant, it's the Oyster Shack next door. They have a little wind chime. Someone says, across the street, is there another wind chime across the street above the air conditioner? I don't know about that. Is there? Oh, there is one over there. Yeah, look at that. Do you see it? Yeah. To the left of the ninja place, there's a little flag hanging there. I don't think we can hear that from this distance. I don't know. You're right, it could be that one. I don't know. Very much so. Eagle eyes, that's crazy. Or you have a huge monitor or something. Yes, you're right there. I'm thinking the one we're hearing now is on the porch next door, but don't quote me. No idea. You could be right. It's too close. Let me go and see. You're right. It's the one across the street we're hearing. There isn't one here. It's been chocolate egg for somebody there. I couldn't hear that. I didn't notice it. Yeah, the delicate ringing is indeed the one across the street. Congratulations. There is no chime hanging next door. It's been taken down for the season, I guess. Are eggs being passed around? Congratulations. So, so the guy across the street stole it from the oyster shack last night. Speaking about noise from across the street, oh, the ninja, the ninja, the ninja. I don't know how much I've reported or whatever. I got back last night in time to go out for dinner and then head for bed. And Friday night in Asakusa, the joint was jumping. And the ninja bar, the ninja activity across the street, not every day of the week, but 3, 4, 5 days a week, they do a bar, put up signs, welcome foreigners. And last night they'd spilled out onto the street. They're selling their drinks, beer and shochu, whatever, inside the place. But there were too many people last night, all foreigners. And they'd spilled out into the street. And they've got a young girl, a ninja lady. She's sort of in a cosplay outfit. And she speaks English sort of in an interesting way that Westerners find attractive. And she's serving up drinks. And it was busy. And they all talk at the top of their voices. All you foreigners, when you're in Japan, dial it down, please. They were drinking, having fun, and talking at the top of their voices outside the ninja bar. That is one loud little bell, isn't it? Congratulations on catching all that. But yeah, the bar last night. Ay, 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 ay. Part of the problem for me too with the noise at night now is that when I just live in Asakusa, I'm used to it, it doesn't matter. But going back to Ome now, where it's absolutely dead silent in the evenings, it goes dead around 6 in the evening or so. And there's the occasional car that drives by on the street outside. But there's no noise, there's no sound, there's no nothing. You don't even hear like TV noise from people's rooms because everybody keeps their windows and stuff shut tightly. You know? So the back and forth between that dead quiet environment and this jumping environment here. Okay, there we are. The lines are now cut, all 8 lines here, 2 sides of each of those 4 lines. Those are cut. I think we're cut all the way around the outside of the figure. The eyeballs are not cut yet, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have a tip on the knife. The knife is, just because I did, the tip of the knife is gone. So I'm not going to do the eyeballs right now. I think it's time for some persuading. We've got to do a little bit of persuading. Not too much. What I'll do is instead of doing the whole block, which will take half an hour or so, I'll just do the inside, give some clear space, then I'll get to some quieter work. So let's get the camera up here. We'll do it here. I'll be banging here, moving it here, moving it here. I think we can stay. Okay. Serenade Dave with late period XTC. Books. Hey, the books are fun. So somebody's mentioned reading the book. You mean our book review corner, whatever it is? We have a fun one. And what I've thought, now that that's become a thing, what I did 2 weeks ago and what I did this last couple of days is the same thing. I picked next week's book, put it on the counter downstairs, and then just so I can just think about it and what my feelings are about that book. And I did the same thing Thursday. After we did our little book corner there with the James Michener thing and the Hokusai book, I thought, what's it going to be next week? And I sat there. I looked around those shelves that are in the room there. I didn't go up and start hunting through boxes of books, but I looked at the shelves and thought, you know what? That'll make a good, fun thing to talk about. And I put the book on the table. But then I realized, just a minute, if I talk about this book, I'm going to have to show something else. So I started digging upstairs, and it was a bit difficult over the past couple of years. Like, there's my own stuff, my own boxes or whatever, things that I had in Canada. And then now that the place is a warehouse for Mokuhankan, the ladies put the gear and they stack prints and they do all sort of things. So I can't easily get to a bunch of the boxes that have my own books and tools and things like that. But for next week's book corner, I needed to unearth something. So I did. I moved boxes, moved this, dug out, opened some closet doors that haven't been opened in, I don't even know, 10 years or something, and got some stuff out of the closet. So next week's book corner is going to be book plus something. People are buying these books, Nanda, One Day at Teton Marsh. I'm not so sure. I mean, of course, if it's going to be a nice book for you, but I mean, the point of those things isn't that the book that I enjoyed, everybody will enjoy. That might not be the case, Now, what can I say? All I can do is talk about them, and it's up to you guys. But, it isn't click here to buy through an Amazon link and I'll get percentages or something. Should we do it that way? An Amazon link? No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. Okay, a little bit of noise coming. I think we'll be okay. We have a limiter on our system here. I'm seeing a lot of red at this end, but I think it's okay, right? Bzz, 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 bzz. Somebody sent me a link this morning. To a tool for doing this. No, it wasn't a Dremel. I don't know what it's called. I don't have a link handy. But there are tools. I've seen them before. It looks like a chisel, but the thing vibrates. And as you push it forward, the vibrating motion cuts. So you go bzzz, bzzz. It's some kind of electric chisel. I don't know. They've had them for a long, long time. For me, it's unbearable. 1, it's slow. 2, it's insanely noisy. And it's just no fun. The person that sent me the link knows this, of course. They weren't suggesting I buy this, but just... And I had a face-off years ago, more than 20 years ago, when there was a group of us printmakers. We had a get-together over in Canada, people in the Baron group, the old internet forum group that we had back in the 1990s. We had a get-together in, I think it was 2000, it might have been 2001. We were at Graham's place over in Canada. And one of the attendees, Marco Flavinucci, really fun guy. He's not doing printmaking anymore, but he was into it then, making beautiful prints. He had brought one of these tools. Bzz, Dave, look at this. Here's the answer to all our problems. Bzz, bzz, bzz. So I said, give me a break, and I can't remember the conversation, but we arranged a face-off, 2 blocks side by side with a similar area to clear off, and the people all hung around and cheering, and he did his buzzing and I did my persuading. And my memory of the thing is that I beat him, but I don't know, maybe I'm making it up, I don't remember. It was mostly just fun and games, just fooling around, so. He was making nice prints, Marco Flavinucci in San Francisco. He long ago gave it up. He became a chef. And I think he gave that up too. He's like me when I was younger, doing all kinds of things, becoming really good at them, and then quitting to do something else. Near the knot. This is hard. I got to be careful not to chip this. Wrong way. The wrong way. It was wood grain. The wood grain, it's hard to describe if you don't know. Trees grow, like not exactly 90 degrees perpendicular and flat. And when you cut a tree up into blocks, it doesn't come exactly 90 degrees flat. So the grain inside this piece of wood, we can see lines here. But this is a section through a three-dimensional object. And there's a grain inside this wood that will go down one way. The lines of the grain are, if I lift my hands up this way, the lines of the grain are, for example, higher here and going down there. Which way? I'm not sure which way around. And if you take your chisel, and if you're cutting, I don't know, people know about wood grain. What can I do? I can't. Let's look at the wood from the side. That's the top. Oops. Here's a piece of wood. We're looking at it from the side. It's a block. Let's make it three-dimensional there. Let's do it so you can see what's going on. Got it? It's a piece of wood. It goes off into the distance. This is the end grain. This is the top where we're going to be carving. Imagine it's the clearing step and we're using a chisel. The grain inside, as we said, there's a grain that runs something like this. And on the top, you would just see these lines. It looks like wood grain. But from the top, you can't really see what's going on. If you take your chisel, if you try and cut into the wood this way to clear it out, your chisel starts to go down into the grain and this piece of wood breaks. You don't get a smooth cut. But if you take your chisel and you try and go this way, if you scoop out this way, we're heading this direction, then the grain is coming up to meet you and you scoop out, scoop out, scoop out, and everybody's happy. So this way is what we would call going against the grain. You can't really see it on top. You find out very quickly. You put your chisel in and oops, it sinks down instead of scooping out. So with the grain and against the grain. And sometimes on any given piece of wood, we've got our cathedral grain pattern here, and it could be with the grain this way and against the grain the other way round. See if we can see again. Where's the flat chisel here? This is something you just learned about on your first day on the job, and if you don't get it, then you're in trouble as a woodblock printmaker. This is going to be okay. The chisel scoops out easily. If I try and come this way, yeah, there we go. Its chisel wants to go down. It's against the grain. I can't do this. I can't scoop it up. It's breaking. Look, there it is. We're going against the grain. If I come back this way, we can scoop it out neatly and cleanly. And it could vary all over the block. We've got a knot here, so the grain near this knot could be up and down and every which way. There's no single pattern for the entire piece of wood. And it's whether it's a hand chisel like this or a driven chisel like this. You got to follow the grain. I mean, anybody who's got any experience at woodworking, whatever, with any kind of cutting tool, we learn this very, very, very quickly. Someone's saying, do we buy new blocks often? We're making our own blocks here. We're buying in chunks of cherry at random times. We've got all kinds of cherry upstairs, drying out bit by bit by bit. And sometime in the next couple of months, Taran-san and I were talking about this last night. He was over here last night for dinner. And he and I know we have got to get going on making the next group of blocks. Part of the problem is the season. When we're gluing down these blocks, you can see it's cherry wood thin on top of a plywood core. We can't glue them down in damp environment. Today's a hot, sticky, muggy day. If we had a piece of cherry here, it would absorb water, it would expand, and the piece of cherry would be wide. If we glued it down today, then come the winter, when things dry out, that piece of wood wants to shrink. But it can't because it's glued down, so it shrinks, and you get a split in the middle. So we are going to try and work it out so that we've got our thins, we dry them out, we wait for cool, clear, dry winter days, then we paste them down. Is the bus door clearly? The bus parking is over on Kokusai Dori outside the 7-Eleven. Can you tell their accents? Where are they from? I don't know. They seem like Europeans. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Yeah, the leader with the flag is at the front, of course. So. We're not the shop for that kind of a group. And the last thing I want is 30 people coming in here. It just doesn't help us at all. It's chaos. mean, we're here in Asakusa, and I guess we look like a tourist business, but in real life, actually, we're not. We get sort of semi-feedback, if that's the right word, on that occasionally. I probably told you about this before, you know, it's not recently, but there was a time, I don't know, whatever, X months back, a year or so back, whatever. So some local tour guides, like not a group like that, which is a bus of 50, 60 people. But there's quite a lot of people working as individual tour guides. They will take one family and bring them round and take them here and take them there and take them here. And a bunch of those tour guides, you know, quiet, single clientele tour guides, they know about us. And maybe they will ask their customer, you know, what kind of stuff do you want to see, you know? And maybe the customer will say souvenirs or whatever, I got to get something to take home, whatever. So the tour guide will come in here with the couple or the family, whatever. And the tour guide, I know them by face. I don't know all their names. I recognize, oh, there's that lady she's bringing. And I'll say, oh, hello, where's your customers from today? And they'll say, oh, I've got a family from Australia, whatever, whatever. They look around and walk out. Or sometimes the people buy stuff, sometimes they don't. I know it's very easy going, but there was something worth mentioning about this, because the story I was trying to tell, a guy, he'd been from somewhere else. The tour lady brought them in, they looked around, he got a print, took it to the counter, they bought it, and the tour lady's just standing there. And then he said something to me and her about, well, are you going to pay her your commission for this? You know, I forget the exact words. This is quite a while ago, you know. And I'm like, what? And he assumed that she had brought him here because it's a kickback deal. You know, she brings tourists here, they buy prints here, we under the counter kick back her 10% of what they bought or something like this, whatever, you know. We just laughed. That's not how it works in Japan. It's not like that, you know. Well, I'm not paying her anything. She just brought her customer in because he said, where can I go and find woodblock prints, whatever. So she's saying, oh, I know this place, and she brings them over here. But there's people that can't believe that it happens surface and above board and that we don't pay kickbacks to the tour groups. And we don't. The tour conductors never ask us. We would never pay anyway. That's not how it's done here in Japan. Although I have to qualify that. I know we do see whatever, the Chinese tour gangs with a Chinese leader all coming down, going to that specific place where they sell cosmetics. I would certainly believe that there might be something moving around in the background at that level. I don't know. But at the normal, casual, everyday, hey, Dave, coming to see some tourists from Australia, it doesn't work. There's no kickback system here in Japan. Japan would just find that distasteful. But this guy, he assumed, how much is she getting? You know, I forget the conversation, 10%, 15%? Why don't you pay her just now so she doesn't have to come back, you know, so. Not in Japan. It's the no tipping culture to show. There's no tipping here, so you know how it works. But sure makes life easy for us, you know. I mean, if that was the culture in Japan, that when tour guides came in, they were going to be expecting to get paid, that would be a different story. We'd have to figure out how to work that into our prices and stuff. I don't know. Okay, what we'll do, instead of going over the whole damn thing here, let me just concentrate on this top area here above the screen. Let me clear this out with the persuader, and then we'll work quietly for the rest of the stream here. So just give me a couple of seconds here. I'm doing a lot of this across grain, which is really messy. You can see it's tearing it up, but it's because this piece, because of that knot, doesn't have a good clear run at the straight grain. This is a tough piece of wood. We talked about this earlier. This wood is not friendly. It's dying. I mean, it's not helping. Maybe it's thinking, look, he's dying, but if I'm going to kill him, he's going to make it difficult. I don't know. This piece of wood actually should be happy. If I hadn't rescued him, he would have either rotted in the forest or he would have burned somewhere. But I'm going to preserve this piece of wood for hundreds of years. You should be happy and helpful. You're going to be famous, kid. A happy little tree. So he's not behaving very happily. I remember each block I work on. No, I don't. Not after 40, 50, 60,000 pieces of wood. No, I don't. I do remember a few. The wave one you're mentioning, yeah, that's a special piece of wood. I remember some of the special ones. Do my hands get worn out much? No, they regenerate. So... Again, cross grain to avoid that problem. Because here we're shaving here now. It doesn't have that pull-up problem. You know, when I was doing with a chisel, it tore the wood. But here I'm just shaving. I'm like planing it. This is a chisel, but we're using it like a plane. I'm pushing with my finger down. So we're taking only a shaving off. I'm pushing down. This is behaving like a little plane, not a chisel right now. Look, push down. Look at this slide. You can easily imagine, chook, chook, this was a plane. So we can go across the grain here. Man, it took me years to figure that out. You got to push down on these chisels. If I just try pushing, it'll just tear everywhere. Push down. It was maybe Shimano-san, the guy who does the wood block. He's long, long dead now, but the guy who planes the wood, who used to plane the wood for us for our blocks. I sat and watched him sometimes for hours. He was cool with me visiting. He was okay, unlike carvers and stuff. He didn't mind if I visited. He wanted company. He wanted to chat. So he was fine. I sat there sometimes for a long, long time. I'm no good at using a plane. I didn't learn his craft, but things that I did learn there, it's this, you know, pushing down on that plane. He used to get the plane, he's sitting cross-legged, he'd put the plane down, start pulling it, and you can see vividly, he's pushing down more than he's pulling, and he's blowing on the curl as it came up out of the plane, you know. Someone's asking, what's the worst piece of wood? I'm sorry, I don't know. I mean, the Great Wave block really was special, carefully curated, saved for years. I don't have any specific bad memories. What was the worst piece of wood? I'm sorry, I wouldn't remember that, I think. I don't know. Let me think about it, but I don't specifically have anything I can pull out of my hat. this one is being no fun. No, absolutely. It's up and it's down. It's all over the place. It's because of this. Well, I knew what I was getting into. It doesn't matter. Anytime you see this, the area around it is rock hard. I'll have to be really careful when cutting that edge. How's our time? Halfway or so? 9:03. Sadako time. She'll be dropping in a few minutes. My God. Show and tell. We have a well, we have an interesting show and tell. I've got to be careful when I say good. We have an interesting show and tell today. Socks are whatever. It's not a lifetime once in a, oh my God, look what they found. Your socks are safe, but it'll be interesting. Interesting show and tell. We talked about 8 cats earlier. We're doing 8 views today for show and tell. And I hope it's a complete set. It wasn't well described in the auction that I got it at. Very careless description, very bad photographs. I bought it thinking, you know, I think there's something here, but it's possible that this isn't going to be a print for the ages, but we'll see. We're visiting 8 views for show and tell. The sound, again, it's the vacuum cleaner in the lobby of the hotel across the street. It's funny, we hadn't noticed it for a long time, and now we're noticing it every day. And maybe they got a new vacuum cleaner that is much louder than their previous one. I don't know. Should I be better focused? Sorry. So this knot is coming out, not right today, but I'm going to do the inside first, then I'll do the next part, then I will do the outside. And this I'm going to have to be really, 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 really careful about. We will attack this with a chisel, and I will take it out very small bit at a time. And it could be that this is so hard that we might break part of the chisel. So what I'll do, I'll take around the outside of it first, and it's possible I may even saw off a little bit of this. Not quite sure. This could be like a rock. I'm not going to muck with it here today on the stream. Absolutely not. Just going to work on this area. Okay, let's get closer to the So it says, do I follow sumo? No, I don't have much knowledge about sumo. I know I went to my first sumo match. Was it about a year ago? I don't remember. A year or so ago. One of our mods here, John, was over. John follows it, and he took me to a match, a tournament. But I have no specific knowledge about it. But that reminds me. 6 months ago or so, a new restaurant opened here in Asakusa, and it was doing sumo chanko nabe. And they were doing wanko soba from Morioka. And their charm point was that the food was served by ex-rikishi, old sumo wrestlers or retired sumo wrestlers. They did this for a couple of months. Boom, shuttered it. The gates closed. They have opened again in a new format. And I meant to have a link for you. I picked up the pamphlet last night and I don't have it. They have now opened in a new format. Sadako, good morning, good morning. Sadako's here, 9:08, yes. They've opened in a new format. They blew out all the old chairs and tables. They built a sumo ring, a real, actual, live sumo ring in the middle of the room. Chairs and tables overlooking it on 3 sides. They serve chanko nabe to their guests, and while the meal is going on, it starts at certain times. It'll start at whatever it is, 5:30, 7 o'clock, 8:30, the next starting time. The meal is served on flaming things, and it's a hot nabe, and boys come into the ring and throw each other around. And it's a total tourist trap. It's absolutely a tourist trap. I got the pamphlet. Google it. Sumo Restaurant Asakusa. They've got a website. John's suggesting it. John, I don't think we got to do this. Look at the website. Look at the pictures, whatever. So it's not dinner theater. You want to sit there eating your nabe with sweat being thrown. And the tables are right up at the ring. I mean, these guys can't do the real thing. You know how sumo works. You get flipped out of the ring. They've got tables with edges and corners right up against the edge of this ring. There's no way. Chicken Meister for the win. That's one of the best jokes I've ever heard. So, sorry, Chicken Meister's got it. Can you ask for more salt? The guy would say, okay, sure. That's a good one. Is there a website? Has somebody got it? I picked up the pamphlet last night. I was out for dinner with Taran-san and our guest from Portugal, and we walked by it. It's a tourist trap, top to bottom, a tourist trap. I mention it because whatever, there it is. But I can't imagine going there to actually enjoy yourself. So whatever. Has somebody got a web link? I didn't see a link come by here. Is there a link? Asakusa Sumo Club. Be careful with the reviews, because it could be the review from their previous incarnation. As I said, they were open before as a restaurant serving chanko nabe and wanko soba. Then they closed, and now they've opened up again in a new reincarnation. So are the reviews the current reviews or the old reviews? I don't know. Anyway, okay, away you go. So, can I ask for more salt? I saw in the pamphlet we got last night, there's seating. I forget the prices, and if you pay the basic price, you get up in the back row, and there's a more expensive seats near the front, and these seats are padded a bit. And then there's a VIP couch where you sit on the VIP couch for something like 60,000 yen, and you get right ringside seat. And I'm not really quite sure if a ringside seat is what I would watch here. How will they compete with all the chanko nabe? You know, there's chanko nabe all over town. It's a standard Japanese dish. Chanko nabe is everywhere. You don't have to go to the restaurants in Ryogoku to get chanko nabe. Quality, whatever, who knows. Can I have more salt? I gotta go there just so that I can ask him. I guess everybody probably says this. I can't see because I'm crying. It's like Jason the other day when he finished his trip. No, it's just windy. It's windy. Okay, let's try and get a few minutes work done here before we go to show and tell. What a bizarre stream today. Talk, no work. My God. I don't know if there's any order set. It could be. I didn't check.
Yeah, computer doesn't wake up yet.
Okay.
Okay. I'm checking.
Okay.
One order.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Going over. After the rain.
Oh, yes. There's they came in the other day. Don't take it from there. Take it from the drawer that has no price label. Yeah. So, he brought us 6 copies. That's all we've got. So they're going to disappear very quickly.
Yeah, I found.
Almost show and tell. Okay, I'm on it. Just I was hoping to get a bit more of this cleared, but I guess it's not going to happen. Okay. And this wood is really, really chippy. So if I try and rush now, I know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to break one of these lines. So let me just clear this one off, and we will grab our package. This is dangerous. This is the most dangerous part of our entire job, right here, this part. Clearing an angled line like this on a chippy block. And that one, actually that line, clearing that line is going to be holding breath. Now I knew it when I chose this block. I knew what I was getting into, but okay, let's do this. Let's move on. Show and tell. It's 9:15. Let's do what we're supposed to do. As advertised. Let's zoom out. Oh, someone's asking 10th anniversary. I was asking for ideas. I didn't get anything in the mail. I got one idea from one of the mods. I'm still looking for ideas. How might Mokuhankan celebrate our 10th anniversary of the Asakusa shop without making it feel like we're trying to sell stuff? You know, 10th anniversary, buy more goods. I want to recognize the anniversary, and if possible, I want to maybe give some presents away. I don't want to make it look like we're trying to sell more stuff. And we don't want to try and sell more stuff, but we would like to honor the anniversary. So ideas. Someone's saying for 10th anniversary, how about signed prints and by you? Well, again, okay, the idea will go into the pile, but as I said, we're not trying to sell more stuff. Give up Baron cookies, General Zimmer. Let me take back the last chocolate egg you got, whatever it was. Okay, show and tell. 10 free Great Wave prints to people already on the list. Let me think about that. So you're saying give a discount, in other words. Discounts, free stuff. I would like to give stuff away, but I wouldn't like it to disrupt our normal pattern of work and of waiting. So what I would kind of like, what my thoughts are sort of gelling is, if there's something or some kind of product that we have here that we normally don't sell, that people normally can't get, but that they would really, really like. So it's nothing to do with selling stuff. If we had some sort of, a behind the scenes something that we normally don't sell. People don't normally get that stuff. But we could prepare some behind the scenes special presents for people that weren't the things we normally sell. That would be cool. Good morning. Okay, we're in. It's taking me time. Layer 1. Oh, excuse me, Sadako, I'll just throw this, okay? Thank you.
Okay,
Right. No problem, no problem, no problem. Just, I'm sorry, I'm running out of room here. Layer 2. Hi, thank you very much. That's 2 down. Sadako standing by to pick up the layers here. Hi. 1, 2. Layer 3, and oh, okay, we've arrived. This is the inside. Thank you very much. We have, not Ome, Omi.
I said
Oh, I'm
so.
not sure. I'm the one that makes that mistake all the time. I live in Ome, blue plum, green plum, a suburb of Tokyo. This is Omi. It's the area in Shiga Prefecture that's now Lake Biwa and Omi. And it's Omi Hakke. And again, Ichiryu Sai Hiroshige Ga. Nga. And what we have here, we can tell right away what's going on here. Hiroshige did a very, very famous set of prints, 8 prints called the Omi Hakke. And they were normal large size landscape prints. They are, in my little estimation, his lifetime masterpiece. They are the most beautiful, interesting, glorious designs he ever made. Way more interesting than the Tokaido prints. But way more beautiful than the Tokaido prints. This is an old, I don't know yet how old, but this is old, reproduction set, and they have been shrunk down. The original prints were Oban size. So we have a miniature reproduction. Thank you, Sadako. What do we want here? Look at this. What's going on? Oh, a set inside a set. Does this count as an extra layer? Those of you who are counting layers? Let's take this out of the way so I don't damage it. This is, in Japanese, a chitsu. The show. What do you call this in English? I forget. A cloth folder with bones. We now have an album. Oh, I'll bet you then. This is going to be accordion style. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's accordion style, which means it's going to start opening from the right, this being Japan. Oh, they're not postcards. They're bigger than postcard size. Look at this. Look at this. They are totally, absolutely glued down. Yes, on paper that is starting to become foxed. Let me just take a quick peek to the back to see if we have a date. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing on the back. Nothing on the back. It's totally undated. I have no idea when these were made. Pre-war, yes. How far pre-war? I don't know.
Nothing here.
No, Sadako's looking at the folder. Nothing there either. This is the first time I've seen this particular set. It's okay. If I was going to put my finger on it, the date. $1910. Kana? Dave's going to put his marker down. 1910. End of Meiji, early Taisho. But I'm willing to be proved wrong. I have been very, very wrong sometime in the past. Going by the whole mood and feeling of this little album. And whether this is a published album, somebody published it in this form, or some collector made it up himself. I'm thinking it's published. We have an outside case, an inside case. They have a woodblock printed label, which would indicate to me that that's a publisher doing this. Let's zoom in. These are okay prints. These are not masterpieces. We have misregistration here at the front. We have a kind of red pigment that would never have been used in Hiroshige's era. This is, it's cochineal. It's not a classic red pigment. This is the kind of stuff they're importing from China now by this time. We have misregistration on the blue. These are nice. They've got to a lot of it, and they've put lots more gradations than we see in most of the original versions. They've dressed this up. The printing in general is a bit gloomy. Hiroshige's print is beautiful. It's a gray day in the mountains, but it's still gloriously clean. This one is gloomy. Oh, look at this. That's an interesting color.
Rustic.
Yeah. Sunset to show returning sales. These are nice. These are nice. What did I pay for this? One sec. Let me switch over just a moment to my auction page. Find the auction. Oh. There's the auction page. It'll probably be blocked for those of you living in Europe. And I paid, no, 10,500 in yen for this set. Oh, they're not pasted, look, Sadako, they're not pasted in the middle. You can see? They're glued around the edges, but the inside, you can see it's loose. So I've got a decision to make here. The album itself is beautifully made and beautifully put together, but the album paper is becoming foxed. The print paper at the moment seems to be clean. Thank you. But the album paper is foxed. So the album is in worse condition than the prints, which would want me to say, I want to get these prints off this paper. But to do so, I would have to destroy the album. Cut it apart, float it in warm water, the prints will float off. What to do? Destroy an album that's 120 years old to try and preserve the prints for a bit longer, or leave it as a single antique object and it would get foxed and die some years earlier than it might otherwise do so. I'm not going to do anything quickly, and my thinking at the moment is probably just to leave it.
This is a bit unusual.
Yeah, it's not, this isn't the world-class printing. Look at this, you know, that's poorly printed, the mess is left in the corner. This is not grade A top-level printing.
That's okay.
It's funny, the way the orange comes in front of the mountain, you know. Some was suggesting we could help preserve the prints by putting buffered paper between them. Of course, that's true. To store the album, we can put paper like this between the sheets, but honestly speaking, most of the damage to this washi is going to come from the paper that it's glued onto below it. There's nothing I can do about that. Relax, I'm not going to break it up. I'm going to leave it as it is for a while. These are nice. They've got some good, clear moonlight, like cold moonlight on the distant hills. Nicely done. I have no idea what publisher. No idea. They're quite, honouring the original prints, though. You know, they've gone to the level. They put gradations here and there. They've kept a mood and a feeling that matches the original. I mentioned the prints very different from Hiroshige's Tokaido. They're very, very quiet. There are people present, but it's not about the people. I don't know about this. That mountain looks like it's floating in the sky. It's like a mirage. I'm not on. Look at this. They brought the orange too much in front of the mountain. I guess this is a thing, you know, so much mist, a distant mountain looks to be floating on top of the mist, but the original didn't look like that. If someone can find a link someone's got it here. Dave's print collection If you look in the collection search box, we have a wonderful, beautiful set of these in the collection. I'm happy. I'm happy for 10,000 yen. This is beautifully done, you know. There's so many poor quality reproductions of these out there, you know. They take so many gradations to reproduce this series. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's so 12, 13. 13 gradations, you know. And a lot of the reproductions just cut a bunch of those out. They make it much more simple.
Are these 3 all separately printed?
I don't know without analyzing it. I guess now that I think about it, that mountains here, this 1, 2, 3, I said 1, 2, 3, but these clearly you can see brush strokes that match. So there's a block for the mountain, which I guess it's one block for that distant mountain. They've printed it first in a light color because it's flat, and then I think it will be as one impression on top as a gradation. So I overcounted a bit. And the same thing for those 2 orange ones. I think I said 1, 2, that would be one together. But there are still a lot. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least 9 gradations here, you know. It's not trivial. And a lot of publishers, they will do the bottom one on the blue here, and they won't do the top one because it just disappears. And there won't be a gradation on the middle hill, stuff like this. And lots of times they put the color in the cartouche flat without gradations. And maybe this is the most famous one in the set, then 2 here. They've made this one a bit too gloomy. I know it's dark, it's rain, it's nighttime, but it doesn't have to be gloomy. If you've got the collection link, someone's got it there, display set number 1. The copy we have in our collection is a masterpiece. It's nighttime, it's raining, it's dark, but it's not negative. It's beautiful. I want to be there. This one, they've just made it gloomy.
Too gloomy.
But if this is all you knew, then it's a masterpiece. You know, the tree is the pine at Karasaki. It's long gone. They've replaced it. In the Edo era, it was famous as a huge pine with supports, and the pine tree was wide, and an army could sit underneath on their horses and stuff like this. It was one of these huge, large pines. It died a long, long time ago. There's a replacement for it now, but it's nothing like the. Maybe 100, 200 years from now, it will look like this. I don't know. These are supports. These sticks you see here are supports propping up different arms of this huge pine tree. Did Bartlett do a version of this? I didn't. I don't remember that. I'm sorry. And that's the end of our little album. And there's nothing. There's no commentary, no date, no nothing. A very nice album. I'm not going to bust it up, absolutely. It's not in that bad condition. If the outside paper was really badly foxed and the prints were desperately saying, help, help, release me from this prison, I would do so. But I think we're okay. We will leave it. Thank you. Okay, your socks were safe, right? Nobody's socks got blown off today, I think. So. Omi Hakke, Ichiryusai Hiroshige ga pictures. Okay, thank you very much. It's Saturday morning now. I am going to let the ladies run the shop today, and I'm going to try and carve, because I'm really behind the 8 ball on this. I'll be back here Monday morning with another stream, and maybe I'll still be on this block, or maybe I will be on one of the color blocks, or maybe I'll be on the block for the shoji screens. We will see. This is my #1 priority at the moment. So see you Monday morning. Thanks very much. Let's put up the outside. Hasn't started raining yet, but watch this space. Any moment now, it's going to start raining. Thanks very much, and I'll see you a few days from now, a couple of days from now. Bye for now. There's no link to Sensei Marjin, who is walking. He's done now. Okay. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. See you next time. Thanks again.